Hello and welcome to the Forge Fitness podcast. Today, me and Chris will be sitting down and talking about all things Forge, getting back into a routine post summer, and what we see people do most wrong when starting a fitness routine. Stay tuned for information, updates, and all things Forge. Hope you enjoy it. All right, mate. Let's just talk about how your training's kind of been, what you're up to at the moment.
Oh, okay. Everything going well. Actually, I've got that dirty ultra Spartan I'm preparing for in 4 weeks' time.
Cool.
With 50K, 60 obstacles, 3,000 meters of elevation, lots of grip work, lots of runs. Yeah, it's just
What's the training schedule looking like at the moment?
it's a bit difficult trying to cram everything in. A long run in once a week, 2 to maybe 3 SNC sessions in the week. And then I try and do my mobility where I can as well, but that's always the squeeze that in and there.
I think you see it quite a lot, but especially over the summer, members struggling to fit everything in and potentially trying to do too much and it results in you doing nothing.
Yeah.
What's your general advice for that?
Everyone's always got good intentions, and they tend to go from they try to go from a place of not training like you'd train 6 days a week all of a sudden, not even tracking calories, to all of a sudden we're cutting out carbs. I think people just try and jump the gun with it a little bit too much, one step at a time, introduce it in, because then it's sustainable. Otherwise, they end up sprinting for 2 weeks and they just
Yeah, I completely agree. I think so many people are like all in and then they just completely disappear and go all out again. And it's like that vicious yo-yo cycle that they constantly starting something new, quitting something new, and it's always the thing they're starting that's the issue. And the program didn't have this, or it didn't have this, or I didn't get this support. When actually, maybe sometimes people need to maybe take a step back and look at how they're showing up, if that makes sense. And I guess what kind of advice would you be giving someone who is that person, if that makes sense?
I would say maybe let's break the process down a little bit. Maybe the approach is incorrect rather than the actual method, if that makes any sense. Yeah, I think because they'll all sprint for 2 weeks and then fall off, and then when they forget about it, they remember why they started and they try it again, and they just say it's just cycle, right? Baby steps. Baby steps. I think that is the key here. Get people to do their steps, maybe 1 week, then maybe reintroduce tracking, then introduce I don't know, hydration, just as a focal point. So you try to cram that all in one go, get too overwhelmed. Like it's too much of a lifestyle overhaul for it to stick and get the results that they want.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think so many people try to do everything at once rather than just focusing on the basics, if that makes sense.
Bit of patience.
Yeah, I don't think we see a lot of that sometimes. I think some people are just so like, I want the results and I want them now, which I get, but there has to be a process. There was a process to get you to where you are currently, whether that's in shape or not in shape. And there's got to be a process to get you to the next step, if that makes sense.
Exactly, right? If you get someone that comes in and doesn't like the way they look, they didn't get that way overnight. Why would getting the way that they do want to look happen any quicker? It is just as much of a process, if not even more painful ones.
Yeah, I think it comes down to habits, and breaking a habit, which I think can take 21 days at least
on average.
And then to put a new habit in, you're also looking at another 21 days. That's 42 days off the back of it. If you were to do it straight away, and let's be honest, there's hiccups along the road with everything. Definitely people need to try to allow the process to take place over time rather than just think like, I need it now. I guess, we're talking a lot about the people maybe that might have been guilty of falling off the wagon over summer, which happened 90% of the time. But now it's like a perfect time, September always probably are one of our busiest times of the year. What bit of advice would you kind of give to people now that the kids are back at school and they have to kind of focus on themselves? I mean, they want to reclaim their fitness and stuff like that. What kind of advice can we kind of give them?
I'd say maybe try and structure the focus around your routine, make your routine work for you. Don't try and work against it, if that makes sense. I'm trying to think here. I would say when you're trying to introduce new habits, it's always going to be difficult. Like, we struggle with it as well as coaches, human beings, like it's going to happen. But pairings normally work quite well. Say someone's getting into tracking, you would try and pair the new habit with something that you already do.
Oh, I don't like habit stacking. Like,
Stack, yeah,
yeah,
I
I
guess that's
call it
the,
stacking. Pairing up, taking your creatine with your morning coffee or something like that.
that's literally going my example.
Was it? Yeah, I think a lot of people try and like introduce like 15 new habits for today. But if you want to introduce 15, that's fine, but introduce them with something else rather than just this whole, at 2:47, I'm going to take my creatine. Well, why not do it with something?
Yeah.
I think another way, and something I like is set alarms. I don't think enough people do that. Is to set an alarm on the phone at 2:47. You're going to take your creatine, and your phone's going to go off. Then you start associating it with those alarms. Just don't get that person that just turns the alarm off and doesn't do the creatine. But that's something I like to do. Have you got any other tips for thinking?
To top of my head, not particularly.
I think a lot of it comes down to organization as well. Yeah, we always talk about an application issue with clients, but 99% of the time it's an organization issue. If you're not organized, you're not going to do it. People talk about taking creatine and having bought creatine. Yeah. To go back to the example of creatine, but I think someone said to me the other day, when should I be taking creatine? And I was like, if you haven't even bought it yet, let's buy it first and then we'll deal with it. So yeah, I mean, the back to school, or it's normally mum, the kids go back and they want to have a bit more time for themselves. Let's talk about, if we're just getting back into it after that, you think about starting something new, what kind of game plan would you give to them? Let's give them some free advice if that makes sense.
Advice back to school, or
I think like that normally they're the ones that are really guilty of being that all in all out kind of crew. Sorry, mums, but it's true. I think, starting small and working big, and also getting yourself some form of accountability program. You're looking after your kids and stuff like that. How much time do you actually have to think about yourself? When was the last time you even did something for themselves?
yeah.
I think when it comes to losing weight, it's all very, very straightforward of building muscle, but you need to be accountable to something going forward.
It's such a slippery slope as well. Like, I just went track for one day, I won't turn up to the gym. Next thing you know, it's been a month, and we see it all the time as well. Like, all the advice that we give out to people, like, everyone can Google, like, it's all out there. With AI and stuff, be out of jobs. If it was a knowledge issue, it's not. It's the application. It's the fact that people know that we're asking them week in, week out. Have you done this? Have you done the steps? Have you done the tracking? What's the weight looking like? Oh, what's going on? Have you been sleeping?
Yeah.
That's what gets them there. Having an external
person kind of thing.
Yeah.
Someone who's not family or friends. Like, it's all very well saying, oh, I'm going to get my partner to keep me accountable. But something funny, when your partner fancies that takeaway, you say, oh, should we just get it? Like, you end up having the takeaway anyway. So we've all been guilty of that. So I think having that external person that is just there to keep you accountable and then give you a kick up the arse occasionally is kind of crucial.
Absolutely.
What I wanted to do on this is maybe talk about a few clients that are just absolutely killing it at the moment. Giving them a bit of a shout out as well. My first thought was Steve in the facility.
Excellent.
Yeah, top guy. I think he's had like a real kind of, I wouldn't say turnaround, but like just like this, the last 2 months, he's just been absolutely on it.
Yeah, like it's not like he's had like a bounce back from anything. He's just been so consistent. They're just like smashing it week in, week out.
Yeah, I think numbers speak for itself, with the lifts he's doing, but also like the body scans and stuff like that. Have you noticed anything that he's doing that maybe someone else could do with knowing?
I think he's just so like regimented in his routine. He's here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, week in, week out. If buts and maybes, it's part of the schedule, non-negotiable. It's very rare that he sort of misses a session, and I think that's the real sort of backbone of his progress.
Yeah, the thing I've kind of noticed, I don't think it's deliberate, but there's a few guys in a facility like who are making top tier progress, like Rob as well. They've kind of like, without even realizing it, started buddying up.
Yeah.
Like I trained the same guy on Wednesday this week as on Monday at the same time, and I think having that routine where you're all staying at the same time, the same days each week is really seeing that progress, which is great to see. He's smashing it. A load of the guys are smashing it, which is great.
And there's that sense of like camaraderie, right? The fact that you guys are in this together, like you're getting through it, like you're both making progress, you're making gains. Like, yeah, cool. Same time next week.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. It's good to see. Like testing was a great success, I think.
Absolutely. So many BBs. Do you know what the best thing about it was? The amount of people that were like surprising themselves. I could be able to do that. Just, oh, what? This is crazy. And people looking back at the numbers beforehand, like, oh, I used to struggle even listening to the bar. And then, like, you've got people making 20, 30 kilo jumps on deadlifts. Like, it's because you guys are here and we can, like, we don't just waffle on and just tell you to do the lifts because we don't like you. Like, it does work, believe it or not.
Yeah, and I guess that kind of brings you on to like the next kind of stuff, which is like programming. Obviously, like post testing weeks, we've looked at the programs and adjusted the programs, that kind of stuff. Or you have, what would you say is the biggest weakness we're kind of seeing with clients that you train just in general, and the focus kind of at the moment for people?
Biggest weakness, would you say like inside of the gym or progress wise as a whole?
Just as a whole, I think this also really reaches out to the online clients and stuff like that. In my opinion, I think we take programming to a whole different level, whereas some other online coaches don't.
Yes. No, I'm not going to disagree.
Let's not throw stones too much in it, but yeah, you've got a big passion for programming. I think you probably spent about 15 hours on the programming for small group. This block.
That's a long time.
We don't just mess around with giving you a cookie cutter approach like some coaches might or will.
Some definitely do.
But yeah, like what's the biggest thing you've noticed from, things that people are struggling with programming, but also just in general, covered accountability, and what kind of changes that we make to kind of beat that, if that makes sense?
I'll definitely say like sort of pushing themselves out of their comfort zone, like that sort of mentality. I've noticed a real big shift recently. And I think it is also because they're all going, oh, I can do it, you can do this stuff. But just like the willingness to try new things as well. Because a lot of the time people say, oh, like, just give it a go. Like worst case, like the bar doesn't move. Cool. And then actually you've got testing with last time we did it.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
2 weeks ago, yeah. Paula stands out in mind because she was like, oh, I've deadlifted 50 kilos before. And she was going for the 60, which is already a PB. And we're like, okay, cool. Right. Like it moved well. She's like, oh, I don't want too much more. And she ended up finishing the day doing 80, which is a 30 kilo jump. So it probably goes to show that it was probably undershooting on the last one. And it's all up here. Ability as well. Seen lots of improvements because people like to that. We did a big block on making people stretch at the end of it. Mobility is such an easy one to sort of be like, oh, I need to do that. It's 5 minutes at the end of the session. Oh, I need to stretch. I need to stretch. But actually, you look around the room, movement quality. Some people struggle with things. I'm not going to say basic things, but things that other people find very easy. You can see it gets to them sometimes. It's like stretching. It's so easy. And do you know what? It's annoying because like I get moaned at for stretching by my coach. I do the moaning to my clients. Like it's a vicious cycle. But it's ridiculously important.
Yeah. You mentioned there about the comparison thing, and I think that's something that clients do, but also people like I've seen it online, just in general, like pairing themselves to someone else who's made that transformation. Oh, I'll never be able to do that. Oh, you can only do that because you're 10 years younger than me, or I'm too old for this, and that kind of stuff. Well, I think it's important that people realize comparison is 100% a thief of joy. You're not constantly comparing yourself. You're going to constantly be negative. You're constantly negative. You're never going to realize that progress you've actually made.
Just shitting yourself in the foot every time. Like the amount of times that I'll open Instagram or TikTok and see some 15-year-old benching my deadlift. Hey, cool. That's amazing. If you're going to do that, then yeah, you're always going to feel shit about yourself, no matter where you get to.
Yeah, 100%. I think, go in and follow those Instagram accounts.
Yeah, real talk.
Because literally, like, and in comparison with advice, like the amount of times I see it, like I just had it in a one-to-one myself, and I said something and they said, yeah, but Instagram says this. And I'm like, if you're paying for a coach and you're paying for a mentor, whatever you're doing, like, don't start listening to the noise from other mentors, because half the time people are putting stuff out there just to get clicks and views and messages from them. Like, if you want real raw advice, get a coach that will give you it and then listen to it. And it might not always be what you want to hear, but at least you know that they're not gonna, bullshit you about it.
Yeah, this is true. Plus, the amount of conflicting information you see online, you'll see one video that says, oh, this is killing you guys, and something else that says, oh, this is super important, you have to do it. Like, which one do you believe?
Yeah. I think if you pay a coach, you obviously trust them, right? And therefore listen to what they're saying. Don't be constantly looking for that shiny new object, especially this time of year. You know, you're going to have Black Friday come out and stuff like that, and those shiny objects are going to be everywhere. But yeah, listen to what they have to say, I think, because the amount of times we see it is crazy. And then someone finally listens, and I've been guilty of this. So they're like, oh, what? It's mad. But yeah, I guess kind of what we got. We got 16 weeks left of the year.
About that. Yeah.
What are you kind of most excited to see across, facility and online across that kind of next 16 weeks? Now you're kind of in charge of the programming and stuff like that.
I think I'm definitely excited to see what the next testing week brings. We've got a 6-week block at the moment that focuses all on hypertrophy, so high volume and things like that. And then we're going to shift to a strength focus for the last 6 weeks, give them a deload week after the testing week as well. So I'll be interested to see sort of where people make the most gains, things like that. I'm also excited for potentially a new location, lots of new space. I'll be excited to see what we can do with that. And also just like the socials as well. It's nice to see the guys not in duo attire and actually letting their hair down. Different kind of conversations come out as well when you get there and get things flowing.
Yeah, it's always a laugh. We have at the 4-year event, which was, I think, pretty sick of the Forge Games. Any client or works with us, in the facility or online is always invited to these events. I think a lot of people come for the fitness and the results, and then they stay because they love the social. I'd say that's something that we do pretty well. We've actually got our own community of 140 or 50 of people here. Our one-to-one clients get involved in the socials, our online clients get involved in the socials, and that's huge, if that makes sense. We've got Ninja Warrior where I'm going to absolutely smoke in a cup, which will be good. And then we've got the Christmas social at Christmas, which will be a laugh. It's always a laugh.
Let's have a repeat of last year.
Oh God, just on a bigger scale. But yeah, these sort of things are always, great events and stuff like that. Definitely something that I'm kind of looking forward to. Yeah, we mentioned Forge HQ there. And we have many sort of few 6-8 weeks kind of thing of things changing and stuff like that. We've got Pilates coming in, Forge Kids, which, you're quite excited about.
So
what's that going to look like for the kids and the members?
The whole focus of it is to try and make it fun, try and make it enjoyable. The last thing that we want to do is to make it like a PE lesson that people dread coming to. Oh my God, no. Like, the point is that it kind of teaches them the key mechanics and the basics of exercise, but it's sort of disguised as games and fun, and like it encourages teamwork, lots of things like that. I've got lots of exciting ideas coming for that sort of thing.
I'm going to share it already. I'm not going to share that. I'm really surprised you that yeah, this is true. I've tried it. But yeah, mate, that's going to be awesome. I think it also gives the school mums, back to the school mums, rolling it back, the opportunity to kind of come and train and bring their kids, and the kids go and train as well. Like, it's a win-win aspect. Kids getting introduced to weights, movement patterns, whilst actually having fun, meeting new people. I think it'd be huge. I think it'd be great. I think so. Just to start with that kind of stuff, I think something that will really, really grow. And then kind of the other thing was, the members have constantly asked for it, and I finally decided to do it. And that's the Pilates side of things. It might not be our kind of knowledge area, but I think it'll be a massive aspect. And going back to the Forge HQ, the goal's always been to have a facility, community more so, that has everything
under one roof.
Yeah, we've always talked about having everything, that you're part of that community, but everything else covers everything. We do weights really well, we do small group PT well, we do large groups well, we do kids work and stuff like that, and nutrition and accountability. Yeah, the run club, that's been good. Shout out to Zara, she hates me for making the finish on Sunday last week. What did we have? I think we had, was it like 12 at the launch or something?
Yeah, it was between 10 and 12 first week, and then I want to say between 8 and 10 the second week.
Yeah, that means I think it's been really good. Really nice to see members and non-members. It's open to everyone, just coming down and having a run and giving it a go. I think I had 5 in a 3K group on Sunday, and all of them said they hadn't done a run in 6 to 12 months, and they all managed 3K and a dirty finisher. Oops. But yeah, no, I think it's good to get people involved in these kind of stuff and try and give back to the community as well.
Absolutely.
It's huge.
I think the one thing that I noticed the day after the launch, or the day of the launch of the Marathon Club, the amount of people that are in the group chat like, "Oh, I've never ran before, so I don't know. I got in my head about it. I don't want to come along because I don't want to be the only one there." But actually, the people who did come who had that similar sort of experience ended up loving it. They tried something new, pushed themselves out of their comfort zone. Were like, "Okay, I'm willing to try this again." And it's not as scary as they made it out to be. And I think the fact that coming back to the thing we were listening earlier, like the fact that you guys are in this together makes it a little bit more bearable.
Yeah, I know, 100%. I think if there's one thing that people can take at the moment is whether you train with us in person, online, don't train with us currently. Train elsewhere, train with another online coach, whatever you're doing, is to give it a go and don't write yourself off before you do try that. Get yourself a community, a buddy, that kind of stuff, and I think the results come from it.
Absolutely.
I think we'll wrap it up there, but we'll be back again next week, and it's pretty good.
If it was.
When the sound hasn't worked.